of our live broadcast will soon hear it being fed back to the Hangout. So hopefully everybody has their windows closed, or at least the sound muted. Hello everybody in the live chat room and YouTube land. We're just about ready to start this week's episode of Catholic Weekend, number 223. So stand by.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 223, week ending Saturday, May 10th. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Catholic Weekend. I'm Captain Jeff in Roswell, Georgia. Joining me today, the lovely Maria Johnson in Conyers, Georgia.
Hey everyone, how's everybody doing?
And
Sorry to have missed you last week.
we missed you as well. And also joining us today from the plains of Oklahoma, where the wind blows and the rain does something, Steve Nelson.
Hello everybody, it's good to be back again. Hope you're enjoying your weekend.
We are. And also joining us from deep in the heart of Texas, that Oklahoma guy never stops singing. Here we go. Oh my goodness, the volume is way too low on deep in the heart of Texas. I know you can't hear that at all, so
Pump it up, Jeff.
I'm trying.
Pump it up.
I'm trying. It's not reacting. Okay.
We'll just all sing along. Everyone knows that song, right?
I think so, but see, what I was telling you about train wrecks? Here we go. This is a good, here we go. Deep in the heart of Texas, Angela Cialanda.
Howdy, howdy. How are y'all doing?
Deep in the heart of Texas.
All right. And also we have a special guest joining us today. And he is not deep in the heart of Texas. He is deep in the heart of Illinois. Well, not really heart, but in Chicago. Joining us, CEO of CatholicClass.com, Matthew Pleasy.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me today.
Great to have you aboard with us. We're really looking forward to learning more about your apostolate. So let's start off with that. Matthew, tell us a little bit about yourself and your apostolate catechism class.
Sure, I'd love to. Well, first of all, thanks for having me today. I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit about what we do for Catholic culture, for Catholic education. My organization is CatechismClass.com. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, so we've been doing it for a while. And what we do is basically use new media and technology to bring the Catholic faith to the masses. We produce online Catholic education programs for children and for adults. Children as young as 1 year old. We have different grade-based programs up through high school. And we have some award-winning adult education programs that we sponsor with Catholic Distance University and Offering. Over the years, we've serviced homeschoolers, we've serviced many different people with disabilities, which don't allow them to attend in-person religious education. We service priests, we service RCIA students, marriage preparation students. We've really run the whole gamut of everything that relates to preparation and understanding, appreciating, and internalizing the Catholic faith.
Wow. Sounds like you said that before a few times. I'm glad I let you say all that, and I didn't try to. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah. So
We're all glad.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. So when did this start, Matthew?
In March of 2004, our organization was founded by a priest from the Diocese of Altoona, Pennsylvania, named Father Zadalava, who at that time saw how big the internet and technology was becoming and said, hey, why don't I use this for something good? And he looked at his own parish and he said, I have so many students who say they can't make religious education because soccer or some other extracurriculars or an illness or travel. You know, someone like yourself, you understand you travel a lot for work. So we have plenty of people in our lives who we understand might not be able to make a set time every single week for religious education. So Father Zadalava said, why should those people be alienated? Why can't they study the same curriculum as everyone else, but they can do it using technology? So catechismclass.com was founded 10 years ago to service that need of providing great Catholic content and accountability to individuals throughout the United States. And over the years, our program has changed so much, so now we have the most sophisticated system we've ever had. So where that way, if anyone were to take a test or a quiz online, a student, those test reports are immediately available and emailed to the parish. So they're continually involved in the parish religious education program with that in-person interaction as well as the test results. So that way, even if they're studying from home, they still, the parish can see how they're still adequately learning the materials.
Excellent.
So it's designed primarily for individual study?
No, we started out with individual study in 2004. We were initially, over the years, we saw such great success in reaching out mainly to homeschoolers and individuals who wanted to supplement their current religious education programs with our very thorough programs that the program was so widely received, we opened it up to parishes. So we now have the opportunity for parishes to use this program as their religious education program. So don't buy books. By our program, we'll provide you the resources. You can print them out, you can project them in the classroom, you can just talk about them. Your students go home and they take the tests online, they work through the materials. Our program puts such an emphasis on beautiful artwork, on beautiful imagery, on understanding different chants, understanding prayers, memorizing them. And we have so many great activities too. You can draw Catholic coloring on the screen, you can do interactive jigsaw puzzles, different things. So it enhances what they're doing. So our program is meant to be used in either setting.
So it's a software package that you can use either independently or as part of a directed group.
And it's all available online too, so you don't have to download anything on your computer. You can even do it on your cell phone. And that's why we made it that way. So children are always on technology, so if they're going to be on there, let's make them have homework. Let's make them do something for the faith online.
That's an interesting thing. That's well, that's really the direction that a lot of post-secondary instruction has gone anyway, with similar sets. So, what is the typical group that is using it? I mean, is it really that widespread? I heard you say at the beginning that for the people who are going to soccer, you know, they need a different kind of talking to if that's what they're choosing. But if you know, but if this is especially useful for people who are kind of isolated in you know, in wide areas where, I mean, I had a conversation one time with a woman in Alaska. We were there on a family vacation, and she does almost all of her instruction with this model, because in the dead of winter she can't have people moving into her classes, so she had to create her own way of interacting with the students and providing, you know, through whatever the available technology was 6 years ago, to do this, to reach out. So this is fantastic for even people who are maybe shut in.
Absolutely, but we feel that we reach out to so many different students. I can tell you there is no typical parish. We have, if you look at wealth distribution in the United States, one of the wealthiest areas is Greenwich, Connecticut, and some of the parishes there use our program because there's a more propensity to people using technology in areas like that. But I can also tell you that one of our smallest parishes is a mission in the middle of Kansas where there are 6 children in the entire parish, and they use this program. And I can tell you that just last year we signed up several churches on the island of Guam where English is not the major language, but they wanted to use our program. And we're presently working on providing these programs throughout Mexico, the United Kingdom, Canada, and even in Africa to English speakers out there. Online is part of the draw, part of our appeal, how we've designed our software. But another part that draws people is the 7-step format that defines our lessons, how it easily explains using catechism, using scripture, using the writings of the saints, and using prayers what we need to learn as Catholics. And it has such great Catholic content in there that some parishes and priests who I've talked to said it's better than any religious textbook they've seen, and that's why they've switched to our program for that alone.
Well, you just mentioned one of the countries it's in use. are using your program.
What a great segue.
That was not a train wreck.
Trust me, we had a train wreck before we even started.
Perfect.
Joining us is Sarah Fabulous, the Catholic Trekkie. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Sorry for my tardiness. I was doing my hair.
Well, we're so happy you did. It looks beautiful. And Matthew,
And that's actually like not a lie. That's exactly what I was doing.
So Sarah is joining us from the fashionable Buckhead area.
That's why I have to do my hair.
So Sarah, this is Matthew Pleasy. He is the CEO of
Awesome.
Catechism Class, and it's an awesome apostolate utilizing new media. And that's kind of what we're all about at the StarQuest Production Network, is new media. And Sarah, you know something about new media as well.
Oh, just a little bit. It's what I do for my day job. So.
Yeah. So anyway, so back to Matthew. You were mentioning how it's being used from very, very small parishes to very large ones, and from big population centers to very small ones, and even remote countries. I was a RCIA. What do we call that? A facilitator. Anyway, one of the active members of instruction of the RCIA at my local parish for about 8 years. And one of the things that I could really see using your program as a fantastic tool to get people spooled up to be facilitators for RCIA. We had a program here at the time where we'd go through a course through our diocese, but it was kind of assumed it was a master catechesis class, and I think it was somewhat assumed that you had a pretty good fundamental background of the faith, but I thought it was, I think it could have gone much more in depth, and I think I would have preferred the style of learning that your apostolate presents.
Mm-hmm. Well, I understand that because there's people at so many different places in their religious education, whether they be instructors or students. How do you reach everyone without marginalizing someone? That's true in education. You have the student who's extremely advanced in the class who feels like the faith is a joke because I've been learning the same things for the past 8 years. It's just the same thing because the other students don't understand. Or you can have situations where everyone in the class is moving along great and you leave someone behind, they don't understand. Our program is customizable, so that way we have different electives that you can give to certain students. Like if you feel a student really needs fundamentals on what is Christianity, don't start them off on the first lesson we have. Give them the elective on Introduction to Religion and Introduction to Christianity before you move into the New Testament and the life of our Lord, where we usually start with our adults. So we understand that people are at different places in their religious education, but we have to get everyone to the same state of being a fully functioning Catholic, fully aware of the Church's teaching, internalizing it, believing it, and acting upon it. Just understanding it is only part of it. That's why all of our lessons have activities to reinforce the spiritual or the corporal works of mercy, or doing something like receiving the sacraments, going to confession. We want people to go to cemeteries and pray for the dead. We want people to pray the rosary. In fact, we pray the rosary in every single lesson. We have an online interactive section so you can pray it in English or in Latin. So we do a lot out there to internalize the materials because that's what we care about.
I'm curious about the, you mentioned it being used in Guam, and just a little bit about what I was recently doing. It was I was teaching at a small diocesan seminary in Papua New Guinea, and the problem I had, I was teaching a basic catechism class, and the problem I had was most of these men came out of small villages, and they'd had really no official formal catechesis at all, but their education level was about maybe 4th or 5th grade, what we'd consider here in the United States, and we were teaching in English, and it was a third language for them. So I was using a 7th and an 8th grade catechism book, but it was not age appropriate for them, so I was having to adjust it to make it a little bit more age appropriate for men in their 20s, but also trying to simplify the language into something that they could conceptualize because their language skills were so limited. So is that similar to what's happening in Guam, or is your program, can it assist in a situation like that?
Well, Guam is very interesting. I've spoken with the priest there several times, and what he wants is he wants his students to better understand English, so that way they'll have a better chance to participate, in worldwide commerce and understanding the world. So
Exactly.
this program is written in a way, especially the grades, so that way they won't alienate them. So even though that they are adults or young adults, they can still study the same faith, just a little bit younger of a level. It helps improve their English, because especially at those young levels, we're using the Baltimore Catechism and we're using formulas and prayers that they need to understand. But we're not starting out with the Catechism of the Catholic Church at that age, just way over their head. We progress throughout the grades, throughout the years, in understanding the fullness of all these different sources of Catholic teaching, and that can only happen when you have a good foundation. That's why we produced that foundation. And in fact, our programs, like I said, were so well received by some places over the years for their strong Catholicity that we decided to produce some of them in paperback as well. So we do have some of our books available, some of our courses available in paperback. We have one on marriage preparation that's been very well received throughout the United States. We have some on developing spiritual life, on Mariology, eschatology, so everything from very beginning, like our introduction to religion, to advanced topics.
That's fantastic. That's very interesting. Thank you.
And if everybody will reach under their seats that are listening and watching right now, you have that? No. Just
Jeff, you are not Oprah.
no.
It's for you and you and you.
Well, trust me,
Wouldn't that
several
be
of the people out
magical?
there listening are getting these. Just trust me.
Well, I think it's awesome that that we're doing so much today in the church in terms of really beefing up the catechism. One of the things that we've discussed around here for some years, I think, is how those of us who are of my generation kind of had a weak formation, and I feel sometimes like I've been playing catch up for a long time.
One story I want to share is so many people who've taken part in our adult education program have come away learning so much. In fact, I spoke with a 78-year-old woman. First of all, I want to congratulate her for being able to use technology. She's of a generation where it was definitely a struggle at first, but she went online and she took her online course. She said she's been Catholic her entire life, and she said she learned things in that course that she didn't quite understand in her entire life because it was explained in a different way. Because we can explain what a sacrament is using the Baltimore Catechism, using the Catechism of the Catholic Church, but she said the definition set forth by the Catechism of the Council of Trent was what really solidified it for it. It tied things together. So we use so many things to reach out to different people, but I can tell you, from the 15-year-olds who use it to the 78-year-old, everyone has come out of it saying that they've understood more. And just this past Easter Vigil, we've had dozens of students who entered the church and became Catholic throughout this program. It was quite rewarding for us because we do consider ourselves missionaries to see people converting to the Catholic faith and receiving the life-giving sacraments. And in fact, one of them wrote me and said that he is considering a vocation to the priesthood now because of what he was exposed to and how he strongly believes now in the Catholic Church and how he wants his mission to be converting others.
I took advantage of downloading one of the sample courses, the adult courses, lesson number 12, Agony in the Garden. And yeah, I encourage people listening and watching to go over to catechismclass.com and downloading at least the adult version, perhaps the children's course, the K through 12 course, and to get a little sample of what your apostolate is presenting out there. And I really love the structure of the entire thing. And it's, as you mentioned, a lot of beautiful art as well interspersed.
Absolutely. People learn not just by reading. People have different methods of learning. That's why some people see and they learn, some people hear and they learn. That's a great thing about learning online. I can talk about the Dies Irae all day, but that doesn't mean you'll understand it. But when you listen to a few seconds of it, it really sticks in your mind. Same thing with chant, same thing with prayers. Hearing it sometimes help people understand it and memorize it rather than just reading it.
So when you talk about chant, do you actually have some audio as well that is incorporated?
Yes, we do have audio and we do have video. At some of our lessons we want to expose people to different traditions, so we do talk about the Byzantine Rite at times, and rather than just talking about it theoretically, we do watch some scenes from what a Byzantine liturgy would look like. We encourage people to check one out in their local area if there is one. So we want to expose people to what it is to be Catholic. And if you take a look at some of our sample lessons in the footer on our website, you'll see that we do go in a great amount of detail, but we do it one step at a time. You'll understand there. Why did our Lord sweat blood in the garden? You know, what were the visions he saw there? Understanding that, you know, when we pray the first decade of the, you know, the sorrowful mysteries on our Lord in the garden, it wasn't just, you know, some passive, you know, I'm feeling sad, this is going to happen. It was true agony, and you really get that in that lesson. So we want to convey these deep spiritual realities using the tradition of the church. And these programs, these weren't just developed theoretically. What we did, myself and others, we sat in RCIA programs around the country, and we sat and we listened and we understand what was being taught, and then we interviewed people before and after the program. What did you learn? What did you want to learn? What do you feel was lacking? We took all that feedback and said, we want to produce the best program out there. It happens to be online, so it reaches out to more people, but we do believe it is the best program out there.
Excellent. And it seems to be, I've just briefly looked through some of the courses, it seems to be pretty affordable as well.
Yes, we don't want to alienate anyone. Most of our courses are $20 or under, approximately $20. So we want to be able to reach out to everyone. If parishes sign up, and we do have many parish customers, we offer volume discounts as well for parishes, and there's also discounts for homeschoolers for signing up 3 or more children. So if that is the case, they can just contact us through our support system, and we'll offer them that discount. But we believe strong Catholic education is available to everyone. That's why we're doing work right now in Africa and overseas, because we see that there's people over there who need the Catholic faith. And fact is, there's a lot of people in the United States who need the Catholic faith. That's why all of us who work here in this program, we all swear to the oath against modernism by Pope St. Pius X. We all are actively involved in our parishes, very actively involved in education and evangelization. That's really our mission here. That's why, you know, we do what we do, and we've been doing it for so long. And we have the support from many different bishops, many different prominent theologians, Scott Hahn being one of them, for what we're doing. So we know that the Catholic Church is looking favorably, the hierarchy is looking favorably upon what we're doing.
Scott who?
Scott Hahn.
Good one.
That's
Like Han Solo.
Running
Open a
joke
book,
here.
Jeff. Just open a book.
Hey, his book is one of my reasons why I am a Catholic. So.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Well, you know, talk about the church needing, or the world needing the church. You know, there's some crazy things going on this week. I mean, I have been out of the loop with my family, and I popped back into reality with a black mass.
Yeah.
What? My,
Okay, Maria's the one that brought it up. I didn't.
Yeah.
See, we had a discussion before the show started, and we
Oh,
were
God,
like, should
Gloria.
we talk about this? Because Steve and I feel like we shouldn't be giving these people
attention to
any
it?
more attention.
But
Because,
I am glad you
like,
brought it up.
I tell you what, I'm online a lot, and like every time this week that I logged on to my blog feeds, there was something about that.
About that.
And everything, you know, every time I logged on to Facebook and Twitter, there was something about that. So I'm pretty sick of these people getting attention, because apparently they're not even real Satanists. And
Well,
they're
listen,
just
I'm actually less interested in the actual. Well, I'm trying to find the right words to use without
Keep it clean.
throwing out the string of things that came to mind. But actually, it was Simca Fisher who brought up a really interesting discussion that's kind of a side discussion about it, and that is like the goofy people who think it's okay to play with Ouija boards and things like that.
Yeah.
the occult.
The occult, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the stupid teenagers who think it's
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about people who really are like, I know that Salem has like real Wiccans and things like that, but I'm talking about the people who play with it, who don't think it's dangerous or don't think it's a silly thing. You know, talking about education and stuff and catechesis, I always had an absolute cow when my kids, you know, would find themselves in situations where they'd come home and ask me, "Hey, what's a Ouija board?" You know, don't play with things like that.
Or getting your palm read or any of that nonsense.
Is that wrong?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But isn't this an opportunity? You see, the people, they really have a lot of trust in me, Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
don't you think that this is an opportunity for us to have discussions about, well, what are they talking about? What's a consecrated
Mm-hmm.
post? I mean, people that are just hearing this from Fox News and the Drudge Report and other news sources, I think in a way, I know it's not a overly positive thing, but this is an opportunity for us maybe to educate some people out there, and then people will go, what? They really think that this little tiny wafer is Jesus Christ? You know, this is a chance for us to evangelize, I think.
And this is also a chance for us to understand reparation. When I hear about this, I encourage people, we need to perform acts of reparation. What is an act of reparation? What does that mean? We should offer spiritual communions. We should say our rosaries. We should attend the holy hour. We should do these extra penances in reparation for the people involved, for their conversion, as well as the others who are seeing this and experiencing this. But we have to understand that our actions, when they are united to the sacrifice of our Lord on the cross, do take a redemptive value. So we have to understand, and that's another opportunity to evangelize. Why does my sacrifice make reparation for that? Why does my praying the rosary do that? Why does my attending the holy hour make reparation? What is reparation? Acts of reparation are one of the many activities in our programs because we want people to make reparation for all the sins committed against the world. I'm sure you know Padre Pio. St. Padre Pio, throughout his whole life, would pray for the repose of the soul of his great-grandfather. And one time someone asked him, they said, Father Pio, your great-grandfather died many, many years ago. Why do you continue to pray that he has a painless death? That's how he said. He wanted him to have a painless death. He said he's already died. And Padre Pio said, God is outside of time. He hears my prayers now before my grandfather died. That's why I offer my prayers now. In the same way, our reparation now can be used to apply to any sins committed in the history of the world. So we do, by offering reparation, follow our Lord's command to take up your cross and follow me. We are taking up that cross and following him. We are walking on Calvary with him, helping to redeem the world, cooperating in his ultimate sacrifice. So this is it is an opportunity to evangelize and understand that the world needs reparation, and that's what Our Lady of La Salette, Our Lady of Fatima, the Blessed Virgin Mary has made us also aware of this through these apparitions. So we would do our best to heed this warning and to do what we can to spread the social reign of Christ the King and to uproot Satanism and uproot sin.
Well said.
See? That was a good reason to bring it up.
Excellent reason to bring it up.
We have some more positive news.
Well, what would that be, Steve?
What?
The upcoming, I guess it's the now approved beatification of Pope Paul VI.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it says I guess they have a miracle that now is allowing that to happen on October 19th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a woman who was pregnant in the early 90s, actually in California, so close to home, and well, for us who were in the United States. She
I thought it's closer to you than it is to me. Okay.
That is true.
Well, my husband's from California. But
don't hold that against him, though.
Well, and so she was having organ damage. The baby was having organ damage, and she was having these doctors tell her that you need to terminate the pregnancy, and she didn't want to do that. And so there was actually, I read there was like a nun who had a card with a picture of Paul VI, and placed that on her belly and prayed for his intercession. And the baby was born healthy, and there was no trace of the organ damage or anything. So this is the miracle that that Pope Francis approved. So exciting. Paul VI.
I'm looking forward to learning more about Paul VI. He was Pope when I was a young child, and as before I was really connected to the faith at all. And so I really don't know much about him. I didn't start understanding about popes until Pope John Paul, St. John Paul, came along. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, what do we call him now?
Well, I just don't want to avoid any confusion with Pope John Paul I. So
Right.
The wording is a little confusing to me. Like you said, I'm not exactly sure how to refer to it without causing some confusion.
I've heard a lot of like official people who know more than me just say Saint John Paul II instead of saying Pope Saint John Paul II.
Yeah.
So
We need
Well,
to
is it Pope
communicate
St.
about
Paul
that.
or is it St. Pope Paul, or we take Pope out of it? I think
Matthew,
that
what do you
Saint,
think?
well, Saint,
Honestly, we need some
Saint,
catechism.
Saint trumps Pope, I think, right?
Every indication I've seen has always been Pope with Saint. You know, Pope Saint Pius X is, you know, Pope Saint Leo the Great.
Okay.
yeah. But Paul VI, he's like one of my big time heroes. Like I know I talked a lot about John Paul the 23rd a couple episodes ago, but
A little.
A little.
Paul VI is my guy, so
Is
I'm
he,
really.
is he funnier
I'm
than
excited.
Pope John the
No, actually, he's not known for his jokes.
Doesn't have
So,
any jokes.
no more Paul VI comedy hours or anything like that.
23rd? Matthew, do you have a course, an adult course with Pope jokes or anything like that?
Nothing with Pope jokes.
You should really consider that. It's very entertaining.
But later this year, we are launching a course on the councils of the Catholic Church to better understand every single one and what it dogmatically taught, and the popes and saints associated with them. So,
Wow, that'd be fascinating.
I'm sure you can incorporate some jokes in there somewhere.
At least one, right?
Yeah.
Have the rim shot.
So
Audio.
Pope walks into a council and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in all those councils, especially Trent. Boy, that's going to be probably a multi-part series on Trent, right?
we're still working right now. I believe we're with one of the Lateran councils, but you know, I feel like there is a great tendency in the modern world amongst all people to focus on the modern age, to look forward, but to look back, but only maybe a cursory glance back. What we like to do is with this course is really spend time and look at every single one to see how transformative that council was in the history of the church, to see exactly how it condemned these various heresies, to understand what Arianism is, to understand what the other heresies that were condemned are, because they still exist in the world today. There are still people who say that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. He's not God. He's not divine. He's the Son of God.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to reach out and we want to tell those people that is not what the Son of God means. It doesn't mean an inferiority to the Father. So we go over a lot of Trinitarian theology, especially in those early lessons. So, I mean, we're talking about the faith here. We're talking about something that is fundamental for our salvation, something that is going to be with us for all times in heaven. This is the ultimate test. Math is great, science is great, but if you don't know the faith, your life was meaningless. So we focus on great Catholic education.
Excellent. I have an idea for you. You could have like a Reader's Digest condensed version of just, let's say, the first 7 councils and call it the Orthodox edition.
Okay. At this point, at this point, Matthew's thinking, who are these people? And why does this pilot feel qualified to tell me how to develop my curriculum?
Because we are all idiots. That's what makes this place so glorious.
Well, speaking of idiots,
Oh, good.
Oh, yes.
Those U.S. Catholic or the Catholic institutions out there bringing in people to speak who may hold views that are counter to Catholic teaching. Looks like the Vatican has finally initiated something to stop that. Let's see, a special report: a decade after Bishop's policy, Catholic commencement scandals make a sudden return. And let's see, I'm trying to find the exact paragraph in here. Talking about Pope Francis announced a Vatican commission of cardinals to resolve a long-standing dispute with the former Pontifical Catholic University of Peru. So it looks like things are afoot to try to get the ship uprighted again, and for these Catholic universities to kind of take heed of the fact that when you're inviting people for commencement ceremonies, they should probably toe the line with Catholic teaching. What do you think about that?
That's so absolutely amazing that we would, even consider that. I'm in shock.
I know.
Although, Condoleezza Rice got kicked out of the Rutgers commencement this week because people were upset because she was too political. And that's a state university, and she doesn't even have the right. She served our country to go and speak. It's just absolutely insane. These commitment speakers have become a bigger thing than really what they should be. Let's be honest. Like, I graduated eight years ago. Yeah, I don't remember my commencement speaker. Like, I don't remember. I guarantee you I forgot about it a year later.
But, if they were like a former president or someone like that, you would have remembered.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of remember. She's a judge from Chicago, but I don't remember what she said. It's just crazy.
Who the commencement speaker was at my graduation for my master's?
Tell us.
The local weatherman.
That's awesome.
See,
did he have like a blue screen behind him?
I'm not joking. That's for real.
Your future is very bright. Can you see on the screen?
Oh, well, I went to I don't even know what to say. But I think that's a great idea. I think that we need to start really being held accountable for the institutions. I mean, I work at a college. And we just can't bring in somebody that's going to be counter to what our mission is. That would be a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more than just commencement speakers, too. It's a lot more than that. Catholic universities should really foster, Catholic universities should really foster Catholic culture. So they should have many Mass times. They should have many confession times. They should have, priests walking around the campus. So that way that instills the vision of Catholicity in the students. Cafeterias during Lent should have signs up, no meat today, and they shouldn't offer meat. They should offer alternatives for Catholics. So it's more than just commencement speakers. It's if you instill a Catholic culture in someone, they'll be open to that. But, right now we're having students go years and years without any real Catholic culture, and then, we're in an uproar over commencement speakers, and they're like, what are you talking about? I lived 20 years. I don't know anything about Catholic culture. I don't care. Why is this a big deal? I just want my diploma. But if you actually instilled that in them through their education, they would likely care a lot more because they would see this person is at total odds for what I believe and total odds for life and total odds for the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church is the way to salvation. So I should be at odds with what this person is teaching.
But what if you hurt somebody's feelings, Matthew?
Like
this is about more than just hurting people's feelings.
Oh yeah, try to tell that to these millennials. Oh man, I went to school up in South Bend, and we had all sorts of priests walking around campus, and it was always a big deal during Lent. No meat on Fridays during Lent. So all the non-Catholic students would write. I ran the opinion section for the Notre Dame student newspaper, and every Lent I would get all these letters from these students. Why is there no meat in the cafeteria? Hey guys, I don't know if you know this, but it's a Catholic school. So every stinking Friday during Lent, there was a couple of emails coming in from these students that were wondering, like, where's the meat?
Dude,
I want a hamburger.
One day a week.
Where's Ashley? It's baconless Friday.
Yeah, baconless Friday. I should have been printing pictures of bacon in the newspaper on Fridays. That's what I should have been doing.
All right, well, I guess that's enough of Catholic commencement speakers, huh? Anything else in the news you guys want to talk about before we get on to one of the best parts of the show?
When we play?
Excuse me?
I said when we get to play?
Well, we don't have we should have a quiz show, but we don't have one lined up for today. So instead, why don't we do this? That's our lovely Pat Gone among women and others. Okay. Is this still on? Nope.
You're falling short today.
Well, thank you.
Hey, no problem. Aren't you glad I joined late?
Yes, I am so glad you're here. So who would like to start our discussion about our picks of the week this week?
Oh, can I go first?
Yes, Steve, please do.
My pick of the week is both general and specific.
Oh.
So,
Well, thank you very much.
There you go.
All right. Who's next? Who's next?
just move on.
My pick of the week is everything good in the world.
I'm not going to play anymore. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, everybody's been picking on me the whole darn show, so it's about time we picking on you.
All right. Generally speaking, this is the time of year when many dioceses are having their ordinations, and I would highly suggest that if you've never been to a priestly ordination or even a diaconate ordination, that you should do that. It's really just a wonderful celebration and a great way of bringing the people of your diocese together. And the reason I bring that up is, and I think I mentioned this before, but one of my former Newman Center students, Deacon Brian Ketterer, is going to be ordained in 3 weeks for the Diocese of Tulsa. And
I actually know Brian.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I went to school with him in Minnesota.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when he was an undergraduate at the University of Tulsa, I was his campus minister. And so the last few years he's been at St. John Vianney Seminary in Denver, and he'll be ordained. I think it's the 30th. Is that the Saturday at the end of May, 30th or 31st? And he's our only priest to be ordained this year, and so it's going to be a great celebration of all the people that knew him here. And the reason I'm really excited about it from a personal point of view is that he contacted me yesterday and asked me to be a lector at his ordination mass. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's what an honor it is to be a part of that. So that's where I'm going to be. So I may not make the show that weekend because I'll be too excited.
Awesome.
Well,
can I piggyback on that and just give a shout out?
Yes.
Shout out to my friend Reverend Mr. That means deacon. Deacon Scott Janasek, who he's graduating from with his graduate degree today with his doctorate, and next weekend I won't be here because I'll be at his ordination to the priesthood. So shout out to Scott.
Excellent. Any more shout outs?
Oh yeah, I've got lots. So the thing is I logged in the Google Doc and I put diaconate and priesthood ordinations actually in the Google Doc. So Steve, you took my idea.
I'm sorry.
But no, seriously, it's always just such a wonderful thing to see all these young men getting ordained to the transitional or permanent diaconate, as well as to the priesthood, and just so thankful for their yes to serve the church. And in all the greater good. I have a couple of friends getting ordained this year, but one of which is Deacon Brian Baker, who's been studying at the NAC in Rome. And Deacon Brian has had the privilege of singing at lots of papal events recently. He sang the Exultet at the Easter Vigil for the Holy Father, and so he's just, really cool guy. I'm so excited for him to be coming back to Atlanta, though not for another year, because he's going to get his the other fancy degree that you can get over in Rome. So he's got one more year left over there before he comes home, but he'll be ordained a priest, and just really looking forward to all these new guys that are getting ordained here in Atlanta. I think we've got 5 or 6 this year. So, just so awesome, and hope that vocations continue to rise.
Hear, hear.
And another shout out to my Uncle John, who will be ordained a permanent deacon on June 7th. So. Yay!
Yeah.
Are we shouting out to all of the religious in our families?
Do it.
Here's a shout out to my uncle.
Oh boy, she just played the trump card, didn't she?
Oh jeez.
Are you talking about the bishop?
The bishop.
Throws Mike down, walks away. Bye.
Done. I have an awesome picture of him with the Pope where they were just chatting, and I can't share it with you.
Yeah, but Matthew knew Scott Hahn. I mean, come on.
Oh, you didn't even know who Scott Hahn is.
I do too. Are you kidding me? I was joking.
No, but our friend of the show, Father Kyle Schnippel, gave the baccalaureate mass homily this morning at the Josephinum in Columbus, Ohio. So, that was such a cool moment for him. I can't wait for him to send me the homily so I can read it. But that's just so cool. The bishop picked him of all the people, but since he's going to be leaving his position as vocation director this year, and so pray for all these vocation directors, especially one in Cincinnati that's going to be coming on and starting new there. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to go next for or with?
Oh wait, no. That was
Oh.
just the general one. What was the? Or did you do the specific one about your?
It was for Brian.
For Brian, Deacon Brian.
Yeah, that's the specific one.
That was the specific one.
Yeah.
Cool.
So who did their pick of the week there then? That was Steve.
And me.
And you. That was so we just knocked out 2, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, good. We're really getting somewhere now.
On a
Matthew,
roll.
would you like to go, or would you like to do the honors of the last pick of the week?
I'll go now, if I may. I have 2. First of all, I talked about a little bit about the activities we have in our program, some interactivity with online drawing, online crosswords, online jigsaw puzzles. All of those are actually available free of charge if you visit one of our sister sites. It's catholicetc.com, Catholic, etc. All of those activities are there. So if you have children, give it a go. You know, do some online activities with them, try it out, and many of those activities are embedded in our children's programs. So that's the first. Secondly, you mentioned a Reader's Digest edition, so I wanted to put a little plug into something that we are doing. Over a number of years, we have produced Catholic book summaries. You know, there's so many great books on the Catholic faith, you know, modern books like by Dr. Scott Hahn, as well as, you know, by the saints, you know, over thousands of years. We have great books. But people are busy. How can you actually read thousands and thousands of pages? And you can't. So what we did is we summarized many of these books ourselves in concise 8 to 10 page summaries, instilling the basics of what's covered in there. So when someone's talking about St. John of the Cross and you're like, you know, I've heard that so long, what is his book actually about? We have a summary on that. All of our summaries are available for $4.95 online. We have 54 different ones to pick from, or we actually have a paperback that contains all of them in it. It's sort of a Reader's Digest edition, and that book is 625 pages, only $45, so it'll be a very nice addition to a library if you're someone who likes great Catholic book summaries. We have everything on there from the Lord of the Rings, because it has a great Catholic ethos, to very spiritual, mystical works. So some, you know, light things and some heavy things in between.
Well, that sounds like a great resource.
Yeah.
And a lot cheaper to buy the paperback than to buy all 54 at $4 a piece.
Absolutely. It's an entire library in one. So if you're working on your doctorate and you want to, you know, understand, is this a book I should really read in detail? Some people have chosen it for that. Some people have chosen it for their own devotional reading. You know, people are busy. People don't have time, but people still want to learn, and that's why we produce that.
Excellent. And you can find those on catechismclass.com?
Yeah. If you go to catechismclass.com and at the top you click on courses, all of our courses are on there. If you scroll down, you'll see book summaries. You can click on that. You can see all the different summaries that we have. Or if you're interested in the paperback, on the very bottom of in our footer, there's a link there to paperbacks and ebooks. Click on that, and the paperback edition is available there.
Sweet. All right, thanks. Maria, looks like you're getting bored, so we're going to pick on you.
I'm not getting bored. I'm trying not to cough all over you guys. My pick of the week is my dad, which is part of the reason why I wasn't here last week. He's very ill. And so we've been trying to go down there. We've already put him into hospice care. And so he's my pick of the week so that I could ask for prayers for the family. Otherwise, we're all doing very well and just, you know, loving on him as much as we can.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
We'll keep him and you and your family in our prayers. All right. Angela.
Okay, so my pick is, you know, there are a lot of awareness days, such and such awareness day, you know. My pick is May 12th, is Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. I pick it because I have fibromyalgia, and a lot of people don't know what fibromyalgia is, but there are millions and millions of Americans who have fibromyalgia, and about 90% of those people are women. And so it's women actually in their active childbearing age. So fibromyalgia, basically it's a chronic pain disorder, and there's really not a lot known about it right now. If you go to a doctor, they may tell you it's all in your head. You don't really have that. And so there's a lot of discouragement when it comes to fibromyalgia patients. So just, check out this website that I put. It'll be in the show notes, FMCP, which stands for Fibromyalgia Chronic Pain Aware.org, FMCPaware.org. May 12th, Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. Just, read a little bit about it so that you can kind of understand, what people go through, and kind of if someone tells you that they have fibromyalgia, how you can be of help to them, because it can be tough living with chronic pain, and just to try and be understanding. So
we have a little extra time here, and if you don't mind, Angela, just a short version, exactly, or not exactly, but what I see the term used on commercials and certain drugs that are out there that are supposed to help with the symptoms.
right.
So is it a like a sensitivity to your skin, or is it a deeper pain? What exactly is it?
Well, like the way that I describe it is, if you can imagine how you feel after running a marathon, like you're really, really tired. You feel kind of like exhausted. I don't feel exhausted all the time, but when my fibromyalgia flares up, I feel it. And then also, like, you have bruises all over your body that are really, really bad bruises. So you have a lot of tender spots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically, some people, like I have, sort of feeling like stinging pains in your extremities. Right now, the scientists believe that it has something to do, that disease has something to do with the central nervous system, and that it's a neurological disorder, but they're still not sure what exactly causes it. So that's why it's important to continue increasing awareness so that people can, hopefully support more research into finding out what the cause is, so that right now there's no cure. You can just try to ease the symptoms, and just learn to live with the disease. So
I guess that's what the pharmaceuticals do then in general, is somehow
right.
suppress the nervous system to make
Yeah.
it for people. Okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of a tough, fate to to have to suppress your nervous system, because it's pretty important.
Yeah.
So
Now,
yeah.
you said it was generally a majority of women, and also
Right.
in those childbearing years. So as you get older, do the symptoms generally start relieving, or do they continue on through the rest of your life?
It's not really known at this point. All that they've been able to tell, and again, this fibromyalgia has really just been sort of understood until just recently. So right now, what they're seeing is that between childbearing ages, I think it's like mostly 22 to 55, or somewhere along those lines, are when people develop fibromyalgia. So that's when you have the onset of the symptoms. But I guess they're sort of watching, as time goes on, what happens to people who have it. So we're still finding out a lot about it.
Excellent. So Fibromyalgia Day is when?
May 12th.
May 12th. Okay. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you.
And I guess that just leaves me. We have, speaking of shout-outs, two prominent people in the StarQuest Production Network community who are celebrating birthdays tomorrow. And you know what? We've gone the entire show. We haven't even really talked about Mother's Day, have we? But before we do that, happy birthday to Mike Kuipers and Billy Newton.
Yay! Applause.
Happy birthday!
So yeah, happy birthday to the both of you, and we hope you have many, many more in the future. And we love you at SQPN. So thanks for all you do. And so those are my picks of the week. And then, of course, as I just mentioned, tomorrow is a big day. If you happen to be female, and speaking of childbearing, you've born a couple of them, or at least one. And so you are a mother. And
You are such a PC.
Wow.
Nightmare.
Yeah, thank you. So, happy birthday. I'm sorry. Happy Mother's Day to my mom, who was out in Southern California. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see her in person, but my prayers and wishes are with my mom on her special day. And Mom, without you, the world would have been such a better place because I wouldn't have been here.
Oh, stop that.
I'm just kidding.
Horrible.
Oh,
Wow.
thing.
So anyway, no, I do
He's not gonna
appreciate
hear
my mom
this.
having me. And you guys only have to put up with me for like an hour on Saturday morning. She's had to put up with me a lot. Bless her heart. So anyway, anything else we want to talk about before we wrap it up? Okay.
How can we follow that?
I know,
Follow
like
that one.
conversation killer.
Another recovery for that.
No, I love motherhood. Is every single one of us have that common bond, don't we? We all have mothers. So happy Mother's Day to
Living
you,
and
Maria.
deceased. We love them all.
Yes, we do. And of course our blessed mother, the mother to all of us. Thank God for her.
And if you haven't made your brunch reservations yet for tomorrow, that's
It
great.
is too
You're out of luck.
late.
Go buy eggs and figure out how to make a quiche.
Forget about it.
My kids all bailed on me.
Oh.
They went to, well, this was the year of the weirdness. John and Vicky went to Miami on Easter because they thought that it was they didn't check a schedule, and they figured, oh, Easter's never this late. And so then
They were counting on the Orthodox.
they were looking at, did you
Yeah,
see
except that was the same day this year.
Oh, was it? No, can't use that as an excuse.
So I spent Easter by myself, and then and now Mother's Day they went to visit their big sister. So the three of them are together, and they sent me flowers and stuff, but
Oh.
they were all being so apologetic. And I said, you know what the greatest gift to me is to know that the three of you get along and that you love each other and that you have intentionally planned a vacation together.
That is big.
Unless
Especially
they're
at their
plotting
age.
some kind of coup, in which case then there's a problem.
All
Okay,
right.
that's it.
Well, very good. Well, let's end the show by asking Angela, how can people read your wonderful blog and follow you on social media?
Oh yeah, thank you so much to everybody who's been checking out my blog this week. I got a record number of views because I wrote about why I wear a veil to Mass, and so that was really interesting. So you can go check that out and all my other stuff at inspiredangela.wordpress.com.
Great. And we can follow you
On Twitter at inspiredangela.
Excellent. All right. Maria Johnson, I'm in the mood for another cup of coffee. Do you write about that?
When I write. I just haven't done anything. Actually, you know what? I'm going to post an entry when Steve does his Catholic Picture of the Week thing, when he does his Catholic Challenge. I've got one ready to go.
Excellent.
So you can read what I'll be posting on begojohnson.com.
Bego Johnson, B-E-G-O, Johnson.com, and follow her on the Twitters at B-E-G-O, Bego. All right, Sarah, the Catholic Drinky. Anything new happening in the Catholic Drinky world, like maybe a new website or something?
Yeah, I unveiled my redesign this week, so I sacrificed some sleep to get all this done, but I'm really excited with how it's come out. So go check out my new website at catholicdrinky.com, and as always, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Catholic Drinky, but I'm actually going to be blogging, people, so get excited.
That may be a good thing, may be a bad thing.
I've heard this before, Sarah.
I know, famous last words, but no, actually, Steve, I've come up with an actionable plan this time. So
Great. That's better than I've got. So. Go for it.
Speaking of actionable plans, everything Esteban.
Everythingesteban.com, yeah, and soon, as Maria alluded to, I'm going to start the Catholic Photo Challenge. I just have to figure out how this is going to work. So, Maria, you and I, we got to talk. We got to work out some details here.
yeah, I'll play with your challenge too. I already have a picture. I'm ready.
How do you even know? I didn't even know what
It doesn't matter. We'll make it happen.
you don't even know what the topic is.
Doesn't matter. I have this great Catholic picture that I don't care what the terms are. I'm using it.
All right, I
Okay.
don't think Sarah quite understands how this works.
Oh. Okay, fine. Well, just go with it, okay, people?
And let's see, I'm the airline pilot guy. If it has nothing to do with Catholicism whatsoever, but if you want to hear about spy planes shutting down radar systems in California, or smoking bags on a Fiji Airlines flight,
Wow.
or the latest update on nothing happening with Malaysia 370, head over to airlinepilotguy.com, and you can listen to me blab on for almost 3 hours. And I know everybody on the panel is going, "Oh my gosh, why would anybody want to do that?" But
Anybody
there
ever
are
listen
people,
to
a
it
lot
all
of
the
people
way
that want
to
to. It helps a lot of people go to sleep, apparently.
I could go to sleep and wake up and you'd still be talking.
Man, I'm
Wow.
feeling love. I'm feeling the love. Thank you, sir.
You
And,
get what you deserve.
I know.
No.
I'm hoping that this is part of my purgatory on Earth. That I'm suffering. And
It is ours, apparently.
Redemptive suffering, dear.
yeah. Everybody that knows me is suffering. Yes, I got that. All right, and Matthew, finally, your social media presence, as well as how we can find out more about this amazing apostolate, catechismclass.com.
Yeah, check us out at www.catechismclass.com, or feel free to look us up on Twitter at Catechism Class, and we're also on Facebook under Catechism Class. So we'd love to hear from you if anyone listening wants to know what programs might be right for you, for your families, for your parishes. We provide a lot of one-on-one, support to say where are you exactly at in your formation, what might be the best fit for you, and we'll help you in the enrollment process.
Excellent. How big of an organization is this? I mean, is it like a huge staff, or?
No, we're a fairly small staff. We have about 12 people with us, and throughout the U.S., and we service right now about 7,000 individuals.
Wow. Well, I'm impressed.
I'm really looking forward to checking it out, because if somebody says that they've learned enough, then they really haven't learned anything.
Absolutely. The faith, you can learn about it your entire life. Everyone can. That's why we have such great enrichment courses for people who are advanced in the faith. We have our Catholic Liturgical Year program. We have basic courses, everything in between, because everyone's at a different spot. But you can never learn everything. Absolutely not.
You touched upon it at the very beginning of the show, that there's also some kind of a credit program with Catholic Distance University.
Yes, there is. Anyone who takes part in our adult education program, that's available for $57.50. It's our most thorough and complete program on our website. It comprises 6 different courses as well as an elective. That course, if you take it and you pass and you earn our certificate, you can take that certificate to Catholic Distance University. And if you're wanting to get a basic certificate in catechesis from them, they usually require 6 classes. They will waive 4 of the 6 with our certificate. And our course at only $57 is significantly less than even one of their courses. So the people who are looking for certification, especially catechists, directors of religious education, as well as individuals who just want that, it's a great resource. If you're looking for the basic certificate or the advanced certificate in catechesis, if you're looking into an undergraduate or a graduate program, they will also waive some of their courses along with our certificate because of how thorough our education is on the Catholic faith. So it's a great resource out there. So feel free to read about it on our website. On the bottom, on our footer, there's some more information there about the partnership with Catholic Distance University.
Excellent. And if you use the promo code Catholic Weekend, you'll get 75% off all of the Matthew's going, what?
I didn't know about this.
Oh, I meant to talk to you about that before we recorded. No.
Yes, just send the bill to Jeff.
I'll make up the difference.
Yeah, he'll make up the difference.
All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Catholic Weekend. I hope you enjoyed all the silly banter, as well as learning about important things like this great resource that Matthew Paluzzi has with catechismclass.com. And until next week, we hope that you have a great weekend, a great week. We'll see you back here again next week on Catholic Weekend. Take care, and God bless.
Yay.
Is somebody throwing up?
What is
What is
that?
that?
It's not me. Now we are still on the Hangout on the video, but the audio, the people who are listening to the audio podcast, they're not hearing any of this. Thank goodness.
Sounded like a duck.
What is that? Well, anyway, Matthew, thanks a lot for joining us this morning, and I hope that you felt it worthwhile. And if not,
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me. Allow me to participate in your discussions. Much appreciated.
Oh,
Yeah.
very welcome.
yeah, I really do mean it. That apostolate you have looks like a huge resource. So I'm going to check out a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, me too.
That's really the way to go these days.
Hmm.
We're all in the share, the same mission of spreading the Catholic faith and on evangelization. We're all wanting others to be saved, to come to knowledge of Christ, to receive the sacrament. So if that's something you believe in, then that is what we're about.
Excellent. Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to our chat room. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I didn't really look at it very often here. Do we have anybody asking any questions or making any?
I didn't see any this
Pertinent
time.
comments?
It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I think that the problem today was that it was being recorded at the same time that Father was doing his stuff. So I think we kind of split the audience a little bit. So apologize for that. All right. And Lynn, thanks again for all your hard work and helping us prepare show notes and such. And until next weekend, folks, we'll see you. Have a great week.